So you want to know how it works? How a nobody, just a face in the crowd, becomes the one calling all the shots? Well, we're going to break it down. We're climbing the ladder step by gritty step. And trust me, we're starting right at the absolute bottom.
All right, so put yourself in these shoes. You're not in the gang, not officially, but you're close. You can feel the energy, the power. You're right there on the edge, and you know deep down this is where you belong. This is square one.
Okay, so this first part, it's all about proving you're not a waste of space. It's not about being tough or smart, not yet. It's about showing you can just exist, be present. It's a game of waiting, watching, and keeping your mouth shut. Your first title? Tag along. And your job is to be a shadow, a ghost. You're soaking it all in, learning faces, learning names, figuring out the whole complex web of who owes who. And you do it all without saying a single word. It's a test, you see. Can you handle just being there, in the thick of it, without drawing any attention to yourself? All right, you passed the first test. Now you get a promotion to look out. And let me tell you, the pressure cranks up immediately. You are literally the eyes of the entire operation. It's hours of freezing cold, mind-numbing boredom, punctuated by moments of sheer terror. Because if you slip up, if you miss something, it's not just your spot you're going to lose. It could be everything. So you've proved you can watch. You've proved you won't break. Now it's time to prove you're actually useful. Time to get off the sidelines and into the game for real. These first real jobs, look, they're about making you useful, but let's be honest, they're also about making you disposable. First, you're a runner. You're just a delivery service, a note, some cash, a small package. The key here, the less you know, the safer everyone is. Then you move up to petty thief. Now you're actively bringing money in. It's small change, sure, but it shows you've got some hustle. And right when you're starting to feel like you belong, you start hearing things. Just whispers, chatter about some new faces from the South Side, asking questions. It's nothing, really, not your concern, but it's there, a little piece of static in the background. Okay, get ready, because this right here, this is the pivot, the big shift. Everything up to this point has been about being quiet, about being invisible. Forget that. Now it's time to make some noise. It's not about stealth anymore, it's about force. And that's the real change, isn't it? It's all in your head. Before, success was them not even knowing you were there. Now success is them knowing exactly who you are and being afraid. You're not a shadow anymore. You're the thing that makes the shadows. Welcome to your new job, the hard man. You're the muscle, the enforcer. You are the reason the gang's reputation isn't just a bunch of stories. When someone doesn't pay, you make them. When a rival gets bold, you push him back, hard. Violence isn't a last resort anymore. It's your 9 to 5. Remember those whispers about the Southside crew? Well, they're not whispers anymore. They're getting loud. They just hit a spot, closer this time. And now that you're the hard man, well, that's not just an insult to the gang. That's a personal invitation to you. So, you've shown you can throw a punch. You've shown you've got the guts. But that'll only get you so far. Now you've got to prove you've got the brains to go with the brawn. It's time to move from being the muscle to being the mind. Your new role is the operator. And this is a whole different ballgame. You're not just watching corners anymore. You're watching the cash flow, the betting slips, the protection money, the take from stolen goods. It all comes across your desk. And numbers, well, they don't lie. You can see trouble brewing in a ledger way before it ever spills onto the street. And this is when that Southside crew stops being a nuisance and becomes a real problem. They make their biggest play yet. They're not just picking fights anymore. They hit a betting shop. They're not just trying to take your turf. They're trying to take your money. And that's hitting you right where it truly hurts. And there it is. That's the line. This is no longer some petty turf dispute. This is an act of war. When they came for the money, they made a statement. They said, "We're here to stay." And now there's no choice. A response isn't just expected, it's demanded. So here we are, the top. The final rung of the ladder. Every risk, every drop of sweat, every sleepless night, it all led right here. You're not just a gear in the machine anymore. You are the machine. The top man. It's a simple title, but it means everything. You're the final word, You settle the fights, you pick the targets, you decide who the crew stands with and against. Everyone's looking at you. Why? Because you're the one who keeps them safe. And even more important, you're the one who keeps them paid. And from up here, man, you can see the whole journey. You remember being that kid in the shadows. You remember the fear of carrying a note that felt like it was on fire. You remember the taste of blood in your mouth. You've been every single part of this life. And that's exactly why you're the one who has to lead it. So what now? The hotheads, they want blood. They want to hit back blind and angry. But that's not you. That's not leadership. Your job now is to protect your people. And you don't do that by throwing their lives away on rage. No. You move smart. You find their leader. You learn his weaknesses. You find out where his money is. You don't just hit back. You take them apart piece by piece, surgically. That's how you win a war. Because in the end, it all boils down to one simple, unavoidable truth. This is yours. You bled for it. And nobody takes what's yours without a fight. The question was never if you'd hit back. The only question is, how?